Welcome back. Teaching financial literacy to kids. That's the aim of this new graphic novel. And get this, the author is a financial expert, having found success in entrepreneurship, real estate, and investing. And he joins us in studio with his tips for our kids. Author David Delisle, welcome so much. You've come in to be with us and explain this new theory, maybe, this new book.
Yeah, thanks so much, Erin. So excited to be
Let's jump right into it with your book. It's called The Golden Quest. Start out just by telling us what it's all about.
Yeah, so the book is The Golden Quest, and I basically wrote it as a graphic novel in the style of Calvin and Hobbes, because that's what kids are really into. And until now, there hasn't actually been a graphic novel that teaches kids about money.
Well, every kid needs to learn about money, you know. They can't always be supported by someone else. So why is it so important at an early age that kids learn about financial literacy very early on?
So it's so funny because money is always the #1 cause of stress for most adults. And
yeah,
still we don't teach our kids about financial literacy, which is crazy. And so it's no wonder that as adults we don't really understand money. So I'm hoping that we can start to reverse that trend.
But you know, it's not really a hot topic for kids and children to really think about when they're young. I mean, maybe when you're little, I remember my grandfather used to give me and my grandmother $1 or $5 every time you see them, and then they would stress the importance of packing it away, putting it into a bank account, a savings. But how can you change this? How does this book help kids kind of want to become more literate about what can happen down the road?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is when we think about money, we try to make it this big thing where it's not very fun, but it's so much easier. So just even as parents, we can just start having conversations with our kids. So not sit them down and talk about math, but just as we're buying something, let them know how much does this cost. And even better if we start having some conversations about like money mindfulness and what's really important to them, like what do they love, what I call the awesome stuff. It can really be that easy.
Have you seen your book making a difference with families out there? I mean, how does your book explain all this?
It's so exciting because like back to that idea of the awesome stuff. So like as parents, we've all had those situations where kids really wanted something like an ice cream and we've told them no, it's too expensive. But instead, if we just ask them, like, is that your awesome stuff? And they pause and reflect, so much can happen. Because then instead of not being able to have something, they're choosing what they do want to have. And so the impact is so great. And young kids really get it. It's cute.
That is really good when kids start to get it. So outside of your book, you know, what can you teach kids about their financial literacy? So
again, it's just having these conversations. So I think of like, we just went through the holidays.
Right.
So my boys wanted all these Christmas presents, but there's nothing they really wanted. So I just had a conversation with them and said, hey, instead of getting all these gifts that you maybe sort of want, but not really, what if instead we have a Christmas party? I host you each your own Christmas party, you invite all your friends, and we just had that conversation. And if they still said they wanted the gifts, it wouldn't be a big deal, but it just gives options, just having these conversations with kids so they understand what they can be choosing instead of the things they want or think they want.
And it's a good reminder because some folks out there and some kids sometimes want for nothing, others need more, so it's good to kind of show kids how this can build up and help them and help people over the years to come as they grow old. Now, tell people where we can get this awesome book.
So the book itself, it's you can find it on Amazon. Okay. You can request it in bookstores. Everything I like to do is this idea around the awesome stuff. So if you went to the website, theawesomestuff.com, you can find me and purchase the book through there. So there's lots of different ways.
And David, tell us just one more thing here about how much can we really learn from kids? We're trying to teach them, but what can we learn during this process?
Oh, I love that you asked me that question, Erin, because actually I didn't write the book for kids. I wrote it for adults, and it's so the kids can read and teach the adults, because they tend to learn so much quicker than adults.
I like that. It's trickery and making them read, making them become financial literate about this. Well, thank you so much for joining us from across the country and having you here in studio. David Delisle, thank you, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.